Hi, everyone. Um, Decided to make this recording both for my students and for my friends, family, everyone. My primary audience here today is going to be my students in the 5 classes that I have going on at the moment. Um, One of the things we're all struggling with right now is everything seems so hard, and it's because it is. And the reason for that is we're all under a great deal of stress and anxiety. Essentially, what's happening is that reptilian part of our brains that kept us safe for eons is taking over. We're in a heightened state of awareness and vigilance because we're afraid. This virus has taken over our lives suddenly and swiftly in a way none of us would have ever predicted. And as a result, we're in that heightened state of awareness. We call it an HPA response, or a sympathetic nervous system response. But essentially, the stress hormone cortisol is running free and wreaking havoc on our minds and our emotions and our health. And we have to do our best to mitigate that, because this is going to go on longer than probably any of us thought. So the first thing I want to say is we really need to be kind to one another. I know I've snapped at people over email, and I apologize for that. For those of you who have been subject to that, I apologize. We need to try to do our best, but there are just days that we get stressed, and students are yelling at me, and I'm yelling at them, and we don't need that. When I say yelling, we're doing it over email. Speaking of email. So that's the first thing. So I want us to all be kind with one another. Also, we just have to give up the idea that this is in any way going to be any kind of normal semester. We're going to do our best. As I said, I'm currently teaching 5 classes. I have over 200 students. I'm working with Canvas systems from 3 different universities, on top of sort of regular life things. I have a mother in a nursing home whose care I have to monitor and deal with on occasion. And now I have to feed myself. It used to be we could go and get takeout, and if it was a busy day and I didn't have time, but now I got to cook and we got to clean. So now a lot of us are opening and closing a 1-person restaurant every day. It's a lot of work, and so we're having to do a lot of things we didn't used to. On top of trying to do our normal things, on top of stress, on top of. So I just want you guys to all be taking care of yourselves. The goal here is for everyone to make it out on the other side alive with as much of our sanity intact as we can muster. None of us are going to have the body we had when we came in. Quarantine 15. Going to hit us all. But we're going to do our best to get through this. And so, as I said, for my students, a couple of things that are important for you to know. Deadlines are fungible, or flexible, I should say. Fungible means spendable, they're not spendable. Flexible. If you didn't get something done, get it done the next day or the day after. I would like you to not get behind. That's my concern, is I don't want, because at the end of the semester is going to end, and we have to end the semester, and then that's when we're all going to be. I want to make sure you guys are keeping up, so please be keeping up with the assignments, but if it's a day late, well, don't worry about it. So don't stress about it. There's no reason to. None of us, at least I'm not, performing heart surgery or saving lives. So a lot of this kind of stuff can wait a day or two. So if you're stressed that day and your brain's not working and you can't focus and you can't concentrate, don't force it. Don't try to force it. The other thing I suggest is breaking up things into smaller chunks. Sit still for 15 minutes if you can and read or listen to a lecture, and then go and do something else for a few minutes. Don't worry about fidgeting. Don't worry about distractions, because we're all distracted already because we're all trying to monitor a million things. Anyway, that's my quick couple-minute pitch about why this is so difficult, is because That stress hormone cortisol I mentioned a minute ago is notorious for reducing our working memory capacity and for reducing our ability to remember things. And it actually causes some pretty significant issues with our cognitive functioning. So none of us are functioning at our peak performance. So don't expect to. Don't expect yourself to be able to do everything you did before, because we're having to do a lot of things we didn't have to do before. And so we're going to try to manage this the best we can. Please get in touch with me. If it's overwhelming, the amount of work I'm putting out, I hope not, because I'm as behind as I think anybody else is. And so I'm hoping that other professors are behind on different weeks than I am so that we can balance out the workload across classes. But if you get behind, if you're stressed, please reach out. I'm never bothered by getting emails. I'm bothered when I get emails that I don't. No, never mind. Don't worry about that. I'm not bothered by getting emails. Sometimes I'm not as clear as I think I am. Sometimes we're in the fog of war, as we are right now, so to speak. Things are harder to interpret and understand. So all of these are things that are psychological constructs and concepts that we'll be visiting in a variety of areas. In my health psych class, we've already talked about this. On my biological basis of behavior, stress is coming up this week, I think, or next week. In cognitive neuroscience, we're going to get into stress and cognition, research methods. I've talked about it in a few places. And of course, childhood psychopathology, we're going to be talking about stress and its effect on the developing brain in some detail this week. So take a breath, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to come out of this with a novel or solving, physics equations. You just have to come out of this. And so please be kind, please take care of yourselves, and reach out to your friends, your family, stay in touch, call. I know nobody calls anymore, but do call, because people actually want to hear your voice. And just, like I said, take care of one another and take care of yourselves. All right. Talk to y'all later.